unapology fed everyone. The Mongolian sun dipped low, painting the vast, grassy steppe in hues of apricot and rose. A gentle breeze, smelling of wildflowers and distant rain, whispered through the tall grasses, making them ripple like a golden ocean. 10-year-old Annika stood beside her family's jur, a round, white tent that felt like a warm hug against the endless sky. Her cheeks were wind-chapped and rosy, her dark braids bouncing as she watched the other families preparing for the autumn caravan. This was the day they would move their jurs and livestock to a warmer valley for the winter, a journey they made every year. Excitement fluttered in Annika's tummy, but underneath, a little knot of worry twisted tighter and tighter. Each family was responsible for bringing food to share during the long journey, and Annika's special task had been to prepare a big basket of *booze*, steamed dumplings filled with savory mutton. But this morning, playing with her baby goat, Kara, she'd completely forgotten. The basket sat empty and forlorn inside the jur. The yaks were grunting softly, their thick fur already growing longer and shaggier in anticipation of the cold. Camels knelt patiently, waiting to be loaded with carefully packed belongings. Annika's mother, her face etched with gentle lines of experience, was checking the harnesses, while her father secured the top of their jur to the cart. Everyone was busy, their movements a well-rehearsed dance of preparation. Annika glanced at her empty basket, then back at the bustling scene. Her heart thumped like a frightened bird. What would they eat on the journey? Everyone was counting on her. Shame burned her cheeks. She imagined the disappointed faces, the rumbling bellies, the slow, arduous journey made even harder by her carelessness. She kicked a small pebble, sending it skittering across the dry earth. She couldn't possibly tell them. Maybe she could sneak into the back of one of the carts and search for extra supplies when no one was looking, but the thought felt wrong, like a scratchy wool blanket against her skin. She pictured her grandmother's kind eyes, always reminding her of the importance of honesty and responsibility. Annika's small hands clenched into fists. This was going to be the hardest thing she'd ever done. Taking a deep breath of the cool steppe air, she walked towards her mother, who was now carefully adjusting the load on one of the yaks. The yak turned its large, liquid eyes towards her, chewing thoughtfully. "Mama," Annika said, her voice barely a whisper. Her mother turned, her brow furrowed with concentration. "Yes, Annika. Is everything ready?" Annika's throat felt tight. "Mama, I forgot the booze." The words tumbled out in a rush, like a small avalanche. She stared at the ground, unable to meet her mother's gaze. The steppe grass suddenly seemed incredibly interesting, each blade distinct and important. A moment of silence stretched, long and heavy. Annika braced herself for disappointment, for anger, for the weight of letting everyone down. But when her mother spoke, her voice was calm and gentle. "Annika," she said, kneeling down to look her daughter in the eye. "It happens. We all make mistakes, but what matters is what we do next." Her mother's eyes held no blame, only understanding and a quiet expectation. "Have you told your father?" Annika shook her head, tears pricking at the corners of her eyes. "No, I was going to try to find some extra food without telling anyone." Her mother nodded slowly. "It takes courage to admit when we've made a mistake. Now, we need to think about how to make things right. Go, tell your father, and then we'll figure out what we can do together." Annika shuffled over to her father, who was tightening the straps on the jur cart. The setting sun cast long shadows that danced around him like playful spirits. Taking another deep breath, she confessed her mistake, her voice trembling slightly. Her father listened patiently, his strong hands stilling their work. When she finished, he didn't scold her. Instead, he ruffled her hair and said, "Well, Annika, that's not ideal. But everyone forgets things sometimes. The important thing is that you told us. Now, let's see what we can do." Together, they walked over to the central campfire, where several other families were already gathered, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. The air was filled with the savory aroma of roasting meat and freshly baked bread. Annika's father explained their situation, his voice clear and honest. A hush fell over the group, but it wasn't an angry silence. Instead, it was a thoughtful pause. Then, Old Man Botter, the most respected elder in the caravan, spoke. His voice was raspy but kind. "Little one," he said, looking at Annika with gentle eyes. "We all share what we have. It is the way of the steppe. We will not let anyone go hungry." One by one, the families began to offer what they could spare. A handful of dried apricots from one family, a piece of cheese from another, a portion of roasted mutton from a third. Soon, a small pile of food had accumulated, enough to supplement their own supplies. Annika watched, her heart swelling with gratitude. She realized that even though she had forgotten the booze, the community had rallied around her, proving that sharing and kindness were stronger than any mistake. That night, as they sat around the campfire, sharing stories and laughter, Annika felt a sense of peace she hadn't felt all day. She helped her mother prepare a simple soup with the donated ingredients, and as she stirred the pot, she realized that her apology, her honesty, had brought everyone closer together.